This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance or training purposes.
This call may be recorded.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How is everyone else doing?
I always say good morning like we're in the same place. It is definitely not morning for you. It's like afternoon.
Oh, I say good morning all day long. So,
all right, that's good news. Good news. It's always morning somewhere. So there you go.
absolutely.
Okay, I feel like I haven't been on it forever. And Chloe, you've never been on the show. I'm so excited that you're here.
Me too. I'm really excited. I always love working with you, Tatiana.
I love working with you too. So Chloe is one of our amazing coaches. She's fantastic at what she does. She gets awesome reviews from her companies, and they just love her so much because she's the coolest. So I'm so excited. And we've got 4 new calls today that we're going to listen to, and let's do it. You ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I was just jamming out to our intro music.
Dude, same every time. I can't help but do that. Oh shoot! Like I'm honestly like dancing over here while it plays.
Yeah.
It's a bop. It's a real bop. Okay, let me make sure you can hear this. Can you hear it?
Can I help you?
All good.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna rewind just a little bit.
This is Lisa. How can I help you?
Yes, Lisa, this is Chloe speaking. I just sent an email to your office account about we want to schedule annual furnace maintenance. Okay,
Maintenance?
so
Okay.
yes, maintenance. Yes, for the furnace run. Yeah. So the question is, your coworker, I think her name is Teresa.
Okay.
Yeah, I think her name. Yeah, Teresa. Yeah. She mentioned the earliest available spot will be November 13th for the maintenance of the furnace run.
No, that is now full. So I don't know when you guys were emailing. Are you wanting morning or afternoon?
Oh, we want one morning.
You want morning?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then because I got the coupon.
The first morning I have available is November 20th.
On November 20th. Okay. So November 20th is Monday. So what time will be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Morning arrival time is between 8 and noon.
Oh, 8 a.m. to noon. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Mm-hmm.
And this is just one furnace you want maintenance?
Okay, I think we should pause. I don't know. I definitely don't feel like there's a connection. I think I could say that confidently.
Yeah.
Like there's not really a connection. And what energy are you getting off of the CSR? I'm curious to know if we're on the same page.
It's a little unconfident, and I think it's probably because of the communication. Like the quality of the whatever phone she's calling from is not great. There's a probably language barrier. So I feel like the CSR is probably just focusing all their energy on like, okay, what is she saying? What are we getting at here? Rather than just coming in with that positive, confident, what's going on? Tell me more.
Yeah, I hear that too. And it's hard. Like I will definitely agree with you. Or that is a hard thing to, in hindsight, you probably see it a lot clearer when you go back and you listen to a call like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But at the moment, those things can be really hard to make sure that you're not only understanding them well, but also communicating well back in return. And in this case, I feel it's really clear that the CSR is happy, is optimistic, or not the CSR, the customer. It seems really happy, really pleasant as you get into it. And I don't necessarily feel that same energy coming from the CSR.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems, again, easy from our perspective, from the outside. It seems like a bummer because I'm like, oh man, I wish she would meet her energy. But I like your perspective. I think it's important to note too that it's probably really hard to do in the moment.
Yeah, especially when there's something that throws you off. right? And you go
Yeah.
into it like, I know what to say, I know what to do, and then something's weird about this call or this day, and you sort of your Jenga just falls, and you're like, okay, wait, what do I do?
Yeah. That's so true about so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens all the time. I hear that with CSRs, and I hear, oh man, that call was weird. Oh, that one was different. Oh, that one was, like for some reason they got that Jenga fell.
I
And
was sick that day, or
right.
this
That was like the first call I took that day. I hear that one a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's not, I mean, they're valid reasons.
Yeah.
But also good to know that if it's happening enough for you to know that the first call of the morning, or for you to know that a certain scenario is going to throw you off, prepare for it.
Yeah.
As well. I think that that's also a testament to why it's so important to have a consistent flow and to talk about how you could have been consistent when it feels like an exception, and to not just brush it off as an exception and move on.
Yeah. And whenever I'm working with my CSRs and they bring up one of those exceptions, I'm like, okay, I'm going to pretend to be this exception customer, and we're going to try it again. Now that you have this clarity of mind, we're in a good space, so that if that ever comes up again, you know exactly how to handle it.
Right. Because that's all you really need to do is you just need to realize that you could have done it.
Yeah.
Like, it could have happened. Like, let's talk about it. Sometimes it's really not very obvious. And so talking is helpful. That's so good that you do that. I think practicing those is important too. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear the second part of this. Let's see how it goes. There's about a minute and a half left. Actually, almost 2 full minutes, actually. Let's see.
Yeah. We changed the filter by ourselves, but we don't know. Like, we want to make sure everything is going well. So.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
So one furnace is $154. They'll call you when they're on the way, and they'll remind you with a text message on that Friday, and they'll be there between 8 and noon on Monday, November 20th.
Okay. So you say the price is 114?
154.
Or 154?
Mm-hmm.
154?
154.
Yeah, but because I got the email say we have the coupon, $35 off, the special offer.
Yep, you just need to have the coupon with you, and I'll put a note in there. Customer has coupon.
And then they say they will come out at 119.
It's what is it? $35 off, or what is it?
Yeah, it's $35 off. It's
Yep, so that's off of 154.
You say after or before?
35 minus 154. You have to have the coupon to give to the technician.
Okay, so that's supposed to be the 119 with the coupon.
All right.
Is correct?
What are you asking me? Are you asking me if it's 119?
Yes.
Okay, so 154 minus $35 is $119.
Okay, yes, correct. Yes, I got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll see you November 20th between 8 and noon. Just give the technician the coupon, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
I feel like you should go first.
It was a little rocky. And I don't know if it was that she couldn't hear her at this point, because it was repeated so many times. So maybe there was some sort of distraction or something else going on in the office or with her. Sometimes you just have a bad day at work, right? And it just sounds like she wasn't there present with her customer,
Yeah. And the reaction that I heard, to me, felt unwarranted after a 3-minute call. You know what I mean? Like, it almost felt like this had been going on for like 10 minutes based on that. It was like, it wasn't long at all. And I do think it was repeated a few times, but Yeah, I wonder too. I wonder what was going on because it seemed like it didn't match maybe the level of
It almost
what am I
seems like what we hear from upset customers. Like everything's totally fine, we're smooth sailing, and then something happens and they're like, "What are you asking me?"
yeah.
And like, okay, okay. I did
True.
something wrong.
Oh, let's back it up. Let's
Hold
back it
on.
up. It did, when
Brace
she said
yourself.
that, I was like, "Oh, yikes! Big yikes! Like she's
Yeah.
not okay. This is
Yeah.
not going well." And she didn't really sound very patient throughout the entire call.
Mhm.
And I okay, I think that we could really simply say if there's a language barrier, getting more frustrated is not going to help.
Definitely.
Ultimately, I think that's what happened here.
Yeah.
Is that CSR was frustrated by the language barrier, and instead of meeting that with patience and talking in a way to make sure she wasn't misunderstood, it was frustration, impatience. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, why are we sitting here talking about this still?
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, I think we could just sum it up to that. I don't know. Anything you'd add?
The listen principle would have made such a big difference if she just said, "Yep, it'll be $119," because that's all the customer really wanted to hear is that confirmation. Like, yes, this is how much it's going to be with your
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then even something like, this is a great question for your technician. I think that could even be said. Like
Yeah.
normally we talk technical questions, you know what I mean? But even in this scenario, especially with the amount of times that it's happened, I think you're right. Meeting that with the reassurance of, yep, it's the 119 after that $35 coupon or $30 coupon. If you have any questions, talk to your technician. He'll be able to answer those for you.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you. You know, something like that. And the CSR didn't, I mean, the customer, I mean, notably didn't seem too bothered by the
she's
CSR.
Yeah, she's chilling. She's great.
She's having a great day. She's fine. But that was kind of funny. I definitely don't think it was warranted for sure, the reaction that we got.
Right.
All right. Let's do another one. Should I play call 2, 3, or 4?
I'm feeling 4.
Yeah, for sure 4. I felt that too.
Thank you for calling. This is Paisley. How can I help you?
Yes, this is Dave. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio, and I need to get a quote on doing my garage floor.
All right. Let me just get a little bit of information from you, and we'll take a look at the schedule together and see when someone can come out and take a look at that for you.
Okay.
What are the conditions of the floor?
This is a brand new home. It was built last year. So the floor's in, new shape.
Perfect. All right. And then what is the address of the home?
The address is
Okay, let's pause for just a quick second. There's a couple things I love, a couple things I would add.
Okay. I want to know what you would add because so far I think she's, positive, reassuring, listening.
I really loved her listen. That was definitely my favorite part. I like that right away. She, and not just reassuring or not just listening, but I like that she sort of responded with this. Her reassuring statement was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to ask a few questions and then we're going to take a look at the schedule. Like she sort of gave him an outline of what the call is going to look like.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like that's necessary on every call, but I think that translated into her reassurance, especially because right away she goes into tell me more with her listen. She's like, tell me a little bit more. And that part I really loved. And so she's about to get the address. I guess the one thing I wanted to hear more of was some kind of emotional acknowledgement, even if it was like oh, great, that's exciting. Or, yeah, I see why you want to get that done. Let's do it.
Yeah, congratulations on the new house, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. Congratulations. That's exciting. That's good news. Or any kind of emotional reaction. And then gone right into where she went. I mean, she's going into scheduling anyways, which is where we're going to go. I mean, that's the natural progression of this. But I wish just one emotional acknowledgement. And that's it. That's the only thing I would add.
Yeah. To add that wow factor.
Yeah. Wow. We're taking it above and beyond, you guys. Right? Okay is not enough. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Also, if it's a little silent, it's because they're cutting things out, just so you guys know.
And just to make sure I heard you correctly, you said your name was Dave? Perfect. All right. Now, is there a good day or time for someone to come out and take a look at that for you?
Well, almost any time.
Okay.
What's your schedule look like?
Give me just a second while it loads here, and I will let you know.
All right, guys, hear me out, okay? For anyone listening in on this is Chloe, you tell me your thoughts. So pay attention to what just happened, because she said, what's your address? It's clear that they took a little bit of time. There's a little bit of silence. So she was clearly verifying contact information right there, right? So that happened. And then she immediately says, when do you want us out? And he says, well, what do you have? And then it goes back into some awkward pausing, because now, as we know, maybe her system's loading slowly, but more likely than not, she's probably just looking through the calendar. Had she just swapped those two things, there would not be nearly as much awkward dead air, right? Like, anyone watching and think about that. Like, if she had just seriously said, when do you want us out? He said, well, what do you have? And she'd gone, we could take a look at that. Let me get your information, and then I'll let you know. What's your address, right? Give me your phone number. Where are we coming out to? All that awkward pausing that we just had on that call would have been eliminated simply by swapping those two questions. And it doesn't change where we get them booked. She's still going to get them booked after she gets that information. But I feel like that small strategy eliminates dead air, eliminates awkward pausing, eliminates filler words. It's just way less awkward. It, like, you prepare for the awkwardness almost.
I like that. Because I have a lot of CSRs who want to get the address like as soon as possible. And they often do it before they talk about scheduling, which for me as a customer, if I have this concern in my head that I'm calling you about, I want you to address that first anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Totally. And so it gives room for that and you just plan for the awkwardness. Because even the ones who get it first, the ones that are like, what's your address right away? They jump in, they get the address, and then they're like, okay, what's going on? When did this start? And then they have it may not go exactly like this every time, but then they're like, okay, when do you want us out? And then you get that awkwardness again. Like, even that order doesn't alleviate the awkwardness. Right. And those fillers. So
condense it all into one pocket where your customer expects to be waiting for your computer to load and for you to be putting things in.
Totally. And then you don't have to over explain the unnecessary as much. You're just verifying contact information. And if you need more time, instead of you telling them what you have them tell you what they want you to have in there. Will you verify your phone number? Will you verify your address so we know we're coming out? And that could be a way to fill the silence.
Yeah. Yeah. She did do a nice job narrating, though. That's always what I like to do when I know there's going to be a computer time lapse. I'm like, okay, my computer's having a case of the Mondays, or just I'm opening up this here. Just let your customer know what's going on so that they're not left wondering if they should say something or if you're still there.
Hello? Are you there?
Did I lose you? Can you hear me now?
All right, I wonder how much more narration will happen. So she's already kind of narrating right now. Let's see.
I have Wednesday next week available. I could send him out around 12 o'clock.
Well, that's the one day I've got a ball game to go to.
All right.
This happens to be a bad day.
All right. How about Friday at 1 o'clock?
Which date?
The 28th.
28th? Yeah, we could do that.
Perfect. Do you have an email address I can put on file and send you confirmation of the appointment?
Yes. It's D as in David, Hatton, Hatten, at insight, INSIGHT, .rr.com.
Perfect. All right, I will go ahead and put all this information in for you, and then you will get confirmation of the appointment. And Lee will be your project specialist. He'll give you a call when he's on his way that day.
Okay. Yeah, they're doing one across the street from me today.
Oh, well, that's lovely to hear.
So, the truck over there and decided to give you guys a call.
Cute.
Yeah, well, we're happy to help you out.
Okay. Well, we'll look for him then 1 o'clock on the 28th.
That sounds great. We're looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was adorable. That was a cute
nice.
idea.
Yeah, she did a good job matching pace and tone there. Just having a nice slow goodbye, just like my grandma likes to do. We let her know 30 minutes before we're going to leave so she can say goodbye to everybody.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute. I wanted to hear his name. I wanted to hear his name. And that is not something I'm always like super overly conscious of.
Conscious, you got it. Yeah.
Conscious? Did I do it? Look at me go. Yeah, I'm not superly overly conscious of that normally, but in this call, I just really felt the pull to hear his name. I wanted to hear it one more time. Even like when he was like, I saw it across the street, and she was like, "Well, we're happy to help you." I just wanted to hear. I can't even remember his name.
I think it was David.
What was it?
I think it was David.
David? Okay, yeah, David. Even just one more time, like, David, I'm so glad you called us. Like, we're going to take care of you, David. You know, like, I just felt like I needed his name in there at the end.
Yeah, because they were having, like, a personal, like, they were having a little bond.
Yeah, they were. Both calls, we didn't hear a ton of value.
Right.
Bill.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. And in a call like this, did she even go over price at all in this call?
No.
I don't think so either. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like I got this question twice this last week of should we give the price or should we wait for them to ask? What do you, as a customer, what do you say?
I gotta know. I gotta know what it is. If you don't tell me the price, I'm assuming it's free.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to know, and I'm a total rip the Band-Aid off kind of person. Like, tell me how much it's going to cost so that I can start planning. Now, I do think there's a way to tell somebody. You know, I don't think it needs to be harsh. I don't think it needs to be lacking in value. You know, you've got to compare value to price. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Is value. But I'm with you. Like, I got to know.
Yeah. I've definitely had a few companies get into a pickle where the technician shows up and gives them the dispatch cost. And they were like, well, the CSR didn't say anything about that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, were we supposed to say something? That kind of thing.
To me, it's almost like a little salesy to not mention it. Don't you think? Like the negative side of sales. Everyone's a salesperson. Don't get me wrong. We know that. Everyone's a salesperson. We're always selling something. But I think that negative side of sales, the thing that we're also afraid of when we're like, no, I'm not a salesperson. We're afraid of that like sketchiness. We're afraid of sounding manipulative. And I feel like these are decisions made almost out of fear more than out of service.
Yeah. People are afraid to talk about money, afraid to talk about price. It's a really normal thing.
Yeah. We got to do it.
Got to do it.
Okay. Call. We've got probably enough time for one more. Call 3 or 2?
3.
Okay, let's do it.
Thank you for calling. This is Lizzie. How may I help you?
Good morning. This is Winston in Honey Grove. We've done a lot of business with you.
Okay, I'm already curious why she said that.
I know.
A lot of business with you. It makes you almost feel like something bad's coming. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hopefully it's good.
I know. Here we go.
My husband's name was Toy, and he was usually the one you talk to, but he has passed.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, my water heater that y'all installed in 2018 is giving me some problems. It's running constantly. You can hear it running, and I'm concerned because of that. I guess I need somebody either, to check it out. If I need to get a new one, I'm going to have to get a new one. But I need help.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Okay, let's pause really quick. All right. I'm going to cough. I'm so sorry. If I mute while it's playing, it'll mute the call too. Maybe we should keep listening. Do you feel like we should listen more, or do you have any thoughts right away?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Oh, right. I know. I do too. I do too. What share one.
Well, it reminds me of our last call because sometimes you get these customers that feel like they're reaching out for a connection, and maybe they overshare or they tell you something about their life and they want you to talk to them about it. Dave wanted her to say, "Oh, that sounds like fun that you're going to a ball game. I hope you have a good time." And this woman wanted to, be consoled about her, having to handle all of the housework without her husband around. They're looking for a connection, and we want to create that wow experience by meeting them there and being able to be that person for them.
Yes, I agree. So I do also think in this call, all right, here, I'll just share my thoughts. Okay, I just gotta get them out there. So I think, first of all, I love that the CSR said something. She said something. I don't know that was, I do know. I know that was probably not accepted as empathy when it was said.
It could be
because
better.
It was pretty quick. It didn't sound like empathy. It was just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Like the same way you tell someone when their car stops working. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And it didn't feel like it matched the severity of the situation. Now, that being said, the customer powered through.
Totally.
And I almost felt like she didn't want to talk about it. Like she didn't really want to. And so that was the vibe I got. So what I would have adjusted is maybe not say anything. Instead, what I would have done was when she mentions it's about her husband, I would have probably used some sort of vocal nod like, oh, or like something like that, like, oh. And then, because she kept moving, and if she had stopped, then you can kind of step into that more and elaborate. But because she kept moving, at the point when she does stop, that's when I would bring it up again.
Yeah.
I would say something like, thank you so much for calling us. I mean, sounds like the last thing that you should be worrying about right now. We'd love to take care of this for you, and then move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I was getting. So I think maybe care needed to be almost simplified and then moved to the reassurance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my go-to. I love to bundle care and reassurance because it feels so natural to say, oh my gosh, I hate that you're dealing with this. Let's get you taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. It does feel so natural. And care without reassurance can feel really negative.
Yeah. And kind of
really, and pessimistic even. It's like if I don't have reassurance after, like they definitely didn't call me, so I could just be like, wow, that's so terrible.
Right.
If I just showed care, they'd be like, yeah, fix it. Let's move on. It is terrible. Let's go.
True.
So without the reassurance, it becomes a little stagnant and like non-productive.
Yeah.
So
silly.
Yeah. Okay, there's 2 minutes left, and we've got 1 minute of this call. So let's just see what we can get through.
Yeah.
Before we close out.
Also, the water's in my bathroom is not as hot as it should be. Now, in the kitchen it is because that's where the water heater is. But I had it turned up on its highest setting. A friend of mine just came, and when he turns it down, turns the thermostat, turns it down, well, it goes off for a few minutes, but then it comes right back on.
Okay.
I mean, it's just running constantly. There doesn't appear to be any leaks. It sits in a pan up on a platform, and I haven't seen any water. We looked, there's no water looking like it's leaking out of it, but it's just running constantly. And I think this has been going on since maybe probably last week. My mother passed away last week, so I was in and out of my house a lot, and I really didn't notice it until wasn't really paying that close attention to it until Friday when I came in from the funeral, and I noticed that it just never shut off. And
Okay. Okay, I can go ahead and get, get a technician out there today in between 1 and 3. Will that work for you?
that'll be just fine. That'll be great.
Okay.
Okay, for a second, like this poor CSR too.
I know.
Like, whoa.
I know.
One is one thing, but two? Oh my gosh. Like, that is a hard call. That's a hard call for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Wow. And now to the customer who, we opted for no care is what our decision was made, which I don't agree with, but I can see how that was a hard call and a very awkward moment in the call too, where she just paused. She paused. Whoa. All right. Yeah, guys, here's my last thoughts before we wrap up. Do you have any? I don't want to cut you off if you have.
Go for it.
I just want to say care can be, we lean into care when someone overly shares with us. We lean into care or we run from it, right? That's what we heard in this call. We had, initially it was almost too much care, a little bit too much. And then the second time it was not enough. And we have a tendency to think care is what this person wants to hear. Care is necessary for human connection. It's necessary that they understand we hear what they just said, that we are humans too. And obviously what you've just told me is something that has takes a lot of emotional toll on somebody. So to not acknowledge the empathy in that situation sounds inhuman. So we know we have to show care, okay? But care is not why they called. Care is, you got to have it, but then really lean into your reassurance. We gave an example of that earlier in this conversation, but I just want to reiterate it. Care is great, but lean into that reassurance. We're going to take care of this for you. I don't want you to have to worry about this any longer. This is something that we could take off your plate. Like, let us do this for you. That is the part that's going to help. And then use a question to move on. Don't feel like you have to linger on that either, right? She clearly didn't feel like she had to linger on it, but you got to have a little bit of both. Like, let's meet in the middle.
Yeah.
So care, this is a good time. Bundle, like Chloe said, care and reassurance. And I would even add a question onto that. So something like, oh my gosh, we definitely need to take care of this for you. I want to take this off your plate. Let's get you on the schedule. What's the availability like for you? And then move on. All right. I'd love for you guys to set goals, put them in the chat. Let us know what you're working on over the next week. Thank you for hanging out with us. And thank you, Chloe, for being here. I hope that you can come back on soon.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It was great. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.